Hi, my name is Denise Yoakum. This is my presentation for Marriage and Family Internship at BYU, Idaho. This is introducing you to my personal experiences through my internship. The first thing we need to cover is how I found my internship. How did I find my internship? I found my internship through a friend, Dr. Ryan Cole, who is a graduate of BYU Provo. He knew my passion was to advocate for abused children and recommended that I apply to CASA, the Pikes Peak region in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where I reside. My initial contact with this nonprofit organization directly requested for an internship position, which was declined because they only have one position for an intern per year. However, I persevered and I researched other options within the organization. I attended an informational meeting where I was advised they would be able to accommodate my internship through becoming a volunteer through the position of a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA. This is exactly what I have longed to do all my life. So I immediately filled out an online application which consisted of two parts. The first part was a basic application, and once that was reviewed, I was asked to fill out another application which consisted of essays, which included many personal questions about your life, such as, tell me about your childhood. What are some of your happiest and saddest memories? What is your current relationship with your family? What is your personal experience with abuse? And what do you feel constitutes child abuse? Amongst many other questions. These are questions that could ultimately affect an individual being CASA. Once both my parts of my application were accepted, I was invited in for an interview. This interview was approximately 2 hours long with two of the staff members of CASA. CASA is a national nonprofit organization. So therefore, the chances are this organization is available in your area should you want to pursue this type of work. I was invited in as a volunteer CASA, and I gladly accepted. What were my responsibilities in the internship? One of the main things initially was that I had to attend a 7-week training, at which time I was sworn in as an officer of the court. This is the judge and the other volunteers who were committed to the various programs through the CASA organization. I'd like to go ahead and speak on some of my current duties as a CASA. I oversee a dependency and neglect case for the longevity of the case, which is typically around 16 to 18 months. I meet with all parties in the case. I meet with the child on a frequent basis. I meet with biological parents, foster family, and the professionals in the case. The professionals are the child's attorney, typically known as a guardian ad litem or a GAL, who looks out after the child's legal rights. I interact with the parents' legal team, I interact with the caseworker, and I advocate for the child's needs and research all aspects of the child's life. I provide community resources to the family members and the foster family. I review the case to assure the individuals in the case are being compliant with the treatment plan and court orders. Here I verify if the family members are attending their substance abuse or parenting classes. I confirm if psychological tests are being completed, and I observe the child and family members in their visitations. I participate in staffings that concern the child. This is a time where the professionals on the case meet to discuss the needs of the child and what the current concerns are and what is going well in the child's life. We look at reunifying the child with the family or finding a home of permanency for the child. I communicate and make recommendations to the court through written and oral reports. As a CASA, you attend all hearings on behalf of the child. How did I benefit the site I served at? I am able to serve the needs of a child within the community who is involved in a dependency and neglect case. I am a CASA. I am a voice of the child. I am able to assist in aiding in finding a permanent home. The first goal is always reunification with the family or kin. How did I benefit personally from the experience? Well, there are so many things I am able to touch base on. First off, I am able to show how love touches the lives of so many people. This is reflected within the families, foster families, and the organization of CASA volunteers, including myself. The commitment I am able to give to a child within my community by being their voice is another aspect of ways I personally have benefited. I am able to give back to the community. I am fulfilling my dreams, which I have always wanted to do. So this is one way I am also benefiting from this experience. All of my life experiences, as well as my education, has brought me to this very moment where I am able to advocate and be the voice of a child. I have the capacity to show tender mercies to others in a time of need. I have faith that people have the desire to have a family and be reunified with those they feel closely connected to. Sometimes this is not possible, which is heartbreaking. But I know and have faith that I am able to play a part of having a voice for a child, and that I am making a lifelong difference for that child. I value this opportunity. It provides me a greater perspective into the lives of others as they face trials and attempt to overcome these obstacles. This is enriching my life more than I ever imagined. Describe important connections between my coursework and what I experienced during my internship. Some of the connections as a CASA you make is the ability to recognize the different theories. The theories which are most applicable here were family development, family stress, family systems, and conflict theory. Social exchange theory also applies to much of what a CASA is directly involved with, as a CASA works with the individuals in a dependency and neglect case, which will be influenced by the judicial system. And here we have to weigh the cost and rewards, which are associated with their conduct. CASAs will balance how the parties in the cases are motivated by self-interest, motivated by the demands, and adhere to the decisions based off of the choices they make. The parties in the case will directly be affected by the cost or rewards of their decisions, which may or may not be dealt with as part of being a rational being. There will be a direct correlation with a norm of reciprocity, for they will have to follow the rules of the court in order to maintain their family's unity. However, some will feel helped while others will feel extremely injured by the family courts. Much mistrust and retaliation is seen throughout this process. This then falls under the guidelines of distributive justice, norms of fairness, and equity. CASAs closely relate to the family development theory and how transitions sometimes cause unwarranted stress, which affects families negatively. Some to the norms, which affect behaviors, can include characteristics which are counterproductive to the structure of family. Developmental tasks can be negatively affected based off of the norms and timing of the family development. The stages of family development are crucial in raising children to become enriched individuals in society. Family stress theory relies heavily on resources, and if there is a lack of resource, it is more than likely that there may be a stressor event which may cause a crisis. The stressors may lead into the conflict theory as there is a lack of balance in the family. There may be a struggle with power which leads to aggression. Here you are able to reflect upon the possibility of the cycle of abuse which could be caused by mental illness, poverty, and overall lack of resources. The other course which comes to mind is family and community relationship, because CASAs are providing local community resources to the individuals involved in the case. We looked at how many community involvement is essential in being engaged in the welfare and well-being of others. When individuals are involved in their communities, it provides a deeper connection to their society. When we get involved in the community, it will bring residents together for the common good of everyone. Having a sense of what is available brings a sense of awareness, a sense of belonging, and the ability to share and communicate about resources within one's own community. As we look at poverty, we evaluate resources and how families react to scarcity. Families will either adapt or be maladaptive to their environment. Having community resources is critical in providing families who are in need. This goes to further establish, as learned in my accounting and money management course, that scarcity really does not exist if we are knowledgeable on the resources that are available to us. The overarching theory present in domestic violence is conflict theory. This is representative of family violence and developmental changes. We address the cycle of violence and the characteristics of each stage. One concept present in the training was the learned skills of DBT and how it is able to implement positive coping skills such as mindfulness, journaling, and even community involvement through school, sports, and the arts. CASAs should be aware of family policies looking at the family impact lens and how policies are created. Recognizing family policies by addressing local and state statutes. One of the most profound things learned is based off of the teaching of the church and how it is essential to connect individuals to their families. Lifelong Links is a segment of CASA which helps children connect to their families. These volunteers search sites such as Ancestry.com in hopes to find family members who will be able to step up in offering an option of permanency for the child. CASAs must keep the line of communication open by asking open-ended questions to the parties associated with the case. We discussed the art of interviewing, which are concepts I have learned in my communications courses as well. Advocacy is the biggest impact of being a CASA, for we are the voice of a child. I would highly recommend CASA as an internship opportunity. They are a national nonprofit organization, so you should be able to locate them within your personal community. Contact information to arrange an internship at my particular site in Colorado Springs would be at www.casappr.org. Click on the Volunteer tab and go to Become a Volunteer. There you will find volunteer opportunities. Apply online, and you will also be able to find the training schedules directly there. Or you could please call Rosemary at 719-447-9898, extension 1008. I hope this helps in your endeavors in your internship. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Best wishes in all that you do.